I was a member of the Isaac Walton League, of the Audubon Society, of the Boone and Crockett Club, the Wild Wing Club, and among many others, the American Game Protective Association. But the whole picture looked like a guerrilla army, each fighting for its own private objective, no coordination among all of them, and darn few that knew what any of the other agencies were doing. So it was that with several million conservation in over 3,000 different categories, we didn't have as much influence over Congress as the local plumbers union of Walla Walla, Washington. Paragraph, it was from that somewhat addled egg that we hatched the National Wildlife Federation. Had a national convention called in Washington, D.C. by FDR, and at the end of 3 days had everybody sold on the idea of a central coordinating unit where all the varied conservation interests could be listed and in an emergency called upon to register their approval or disapproval of any major movement in the conservation field. Money to run it, of course, was a first necessity. In desperate haste, I designed the first sheets of Federation wildlife stamps. Surprisingly, they brought in more than $150,000, I think it was. The financing was so successful through the sale of stamps that the Washington office became fascinated by the easy money bonanza that had fallen in their laps, to the exclusion of all attention to the original objective, namely tying in all the millions of wild horses into one team. Paragraph, the darn thing would have worked, and I believe permanently and beneficially. Before disintegration set in, we had one spectacular example of its efficacy. An important bill had been in the works on the Hill. I've forgotten which one it was now, perhaps the Pittman-Robertson bill. Anyway, it was a generally acceptable bill, but had stumbled along from committee after committee and was getting nowhere. The Washington office of the Federation got out an analysis of the bill and what it was for, and sent it out to all the affiliates in the newly organized Federation. And a request went out to all the affiliated organizations to notify their members that we needed a mass demand of the public to get this bill out and pass it. Those who were present in the press gallery and watched the process said they never saw so many telegrams and letters flooding the desks of congressional members as following that demand. The bill was voted out of the committee and passed by a large majority. That was the last time the Federation ever functioned legislatively.